Welcome, Helen Peterson. I'm so glad that you're joining me on One Helluva Conversation, Real Women, Real Stories today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. I've done
Absolutely.
podcasts. I haven't done like a video recording one though, so I'm excited to actually show my face, I guess.
Absolutely. I think my personal feeling for doing this is, a little name to a face and just having that personal aspect for whoever wants to look at you while they're listening to it and to, just really be able to connect with you. So I think sometimes having that face to our voices helps a lot.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. So your business is Peterson Virtual Assistant. And just, tell us about your journey, kind of where you started, where you're going, where you've been, all that fun stuff, and what's up? Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard, when people ask, like, tell your story, because you're like, how far
Yes.
in depth should I go? By the way, I talk with my hands a lot, so I'm going to
Me
try
too.
not to, like,
Me too. I'm always
throw
like,
them up there, but
oh my God, I should be sitting on my hands. I'm like always like this. And
yeah.
So we're going to have a lot of this in our video today.
Yeah, just a heads up. But basically, so I am I'm a work from home mom, I guess I can put it that way. I started my business, business specifically, about a year and a half ago. But leading up to this, I've tried a lot of different businesses. I'm like one of those people that comes from a family of entrepreneurs. My parents actually moved from Russia when my mom was pregnant with me.
Wow.
And I have 3 older siblings that were born in Russia. So they moved here with like 4 kids, all under 8 years old. They were like 31, had no money, didn't speak English, and were like, we want a better lifestyle than what, we were brought up in. And we want our kids to have a college education. We want them to be able to do whatever they want to do with their lives. So my parents really just went all in, and they moved, family of 6 out to the States, originally into Sacramento. And then when I was like 2 or 3, we moved out to San Diego, and that is where my whole family still lives. My husband and I moved out to Central Oregon a few years ago, just for different opportunities. And it's been a completely different lifestyle change, of course, because, San Diego is like 60 to 70 degrees year round, and Bend, Oregon gets down to 10 degrees in winter. We get snow, but it's gorgeous, super sunny. As you can see, it's like, 40 degrees, but it's beautiful out. But yeah, so that's kind of like my background. My parents, when they moved here, they started a pizza business. Initially, my dad was actually a Pizza Hut or Little Caesars, I can't remember which one, but delivery driver. And that's like how my family started off. And then my mom was going to night school for bookkeeping classes. So then from there, they started their own pizza place. They had their own business, family run business, very typical immigrant like type of story, And from there, I went to college on like a track scholarship. I was a kinesiology major, thinking I was going to become a physician assistant. And I have like different email campaigns and stuff that I sent out, but I was like, my father-in-law, who is an orthopedic surgeon, was the one who convinced me to not go to PA school, which is so funny.
Wow.
So he told me, like with the medical industry and stuff, your hours would be all over the place, night shifts, call, especially because I wanted to do ortho PA. And so he was like, don't do it. So I just kind of like grabbed, a job at a medical office as like an administrative assistant when they moved here. And then on the side, I was doing my like lifestyle blog. I've always loved the online space, having like social media accounts and sharing healthy living tips. I was a personal trainer for a few years. Like I've been all over the place in my 20s, So in December of 2018, though, like this is where Peterson Virtual Assistant really started. I had my first baby, my daughter Emery, and I was like, I don't want to go back to work in an office. I don't want to, try to find like childcare to have her go in there just so I can barely be scraping by to cover childcare costs, because it really, you have to balance it out and like, does the cost outweigh the benefit or whatever?
Yeah.
So I started my virtual assistant business. It was kind of random at first. My first client was someone I personally knew, and they needed someone to handle their email inbox management for their like skincare company. And so I kind of just dove into that initially, and then it led to, you know, finding other clients on Facebook groups and, you know, social media accounts, word of mouth, all that kind of good stuff. And now I have like 6 clients that I do daily admin and content creation work for, some email marketing campaigns, and I love it. It's like the most, I don't know, it's one of those jobs where I'm like, I get to help other people's businesses and I also get to stay home. So I work during nap times, early in the morning, and then Emery does have a daycare that she goes to a couple days a week just for a few hours a day, and you know, she gets to play with kids and I get to do a little bit more work. And yeah, so that's kind of, you know, long story short, that's where I landed.
I love it because you went the whole route of doing everything else too and realized like, hey, this isn't for me. And so you really, it didn't really sound like you were looking for this type of job, but you knew you had a talent or something that you did and somebody needed help. And then you made something of that. And then it just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah. It's funny, like with the virtual assistant world, the term is thrown out there a lot, you know, and you don't really know, like, what does a VA do? Is that like a substantial job? Like, what is it? But when you really get down to it, a VA is basically someone that anyone can hire to then, whether it's like 8 hours a week or 20 hours a week, business owners love it because they don't have to hire a full-time employee and, you know, pay someone full-time for just part-time work, or if it's just a couple hours they need help with. And the awesome thing about it being virtual is like, no matter what's going on in the world, you can work from anywhere. If I didn't have a kid, I would probably be working on like beaches in Bali or wherever, you know, like, because you can do it wherever you want. And so it's one of those things that once you get into the industry, you're like, damn, this is actually like the coolest job ever because you can do it from anywhere. So
that's awesome too. So when you started and, you know, you got the gig with someone that you had knew, were you calling yourself a VA at that point? Or were you like, hey, this is, you know, this is an industry now I want to go into?
Yeah, well, it's funny because this friend that I, you know, started working for, she, I had told her, I was like, I've been seeing, you know, other Instagram accounts of girls that call themselves virtual assistants, and I had been trying to make like my blog work, you know, to make money as a stay-at-home mom. I was like, I want to make money somehow, not because we necessarily like needed it. I didn't have like that pressure of it, but it was like mentally, my personality is the type that I like to have projects that I'm doing. You know, like I just like to have things that I'm working on, whether it's making money or not. But for my blog, it was more just, you know, something on the side. And I was trying to get it to grow as an income, and blogging, you know, for money, it's hard. Like you really have to put a lot of years into it. You have to have the right avenues to make, you know, your traffic numbers enough. And so many people are trying to do it and stuff. And so it was one of those things where I was like, I'm trying to make this work. I feel like it's not really working, but I've seen people be virtual assistants, and through, you know, the blogging stuff and social media stuff, I realized I know how to help people with their blog posts or with their social media, you know, scheduling, and I know how to answer emails. I know all of that kind of stuff. So that's what led to like the VA thing, is because it really incorporated a bunch of the things that I loved doing. And I was able to, you know, jump onto someone else's team and help them in their business. It's definitely like a versatile job where you have different clients that all are in different industries, and so you have to learn, you know, different aspects of all of those industries and stuff. But to me, it's really fun. Like I love that side of it.
Now, do you just do like specific things for your clients? Like, you know, is it emails or, you know, or do you hone in on pretty much anything if they're looking for a virtual assistant type of thing? Because we all have different tasks and things we want completed.
Yeah, well, the nice thing is now I started my virtual assistant boot camp where I'm teaching other women how to become a VA. And so I have 13 women enrolled right now. It's kind of like an ongoing course where you can jump in at any point, watch the videos, do the worksheets, and then we have a weekly group call on Zoom where you can ask me questions and we just talk about, you know, bouncing ideas off of each other. All throughout, you know, I have leads for these clients that I don't have the time to take on. So like
Oh,
they would be a good fit for you or you. And so, cause there's people that want podcast editors, they want video editors, and I
right.
don't do that stuff. But I know girls that do. And so it's a really cool, you know, group now that we have where we're helping each other out. And that's like the aspect that I love about it is I'm like, not only can I help, you know, other business owners, but I can help other women, a lot of stay-at-home moms specifically, or people that just like, you know, I know a few people that student debt right now is like so hard to get out of. And
Yeah.
this is one of those things where you could do a couple hours of work on the weekends or in the evenings alongside of your full-time job and make a little extra income to like put towards those payments. You know, it's hard. It's hard, like being in your 20s these days, coming out of expensive college and then not getting paid a salary that really you need in order to cover all those expenses. So it's one of those things that you can take it as easy as a few hours a week to a full-time job, depending on what you're looking for and what kind of clients you want to pick up. But to answer your question, I mean, they want anything and everything from
Right.
email inbox management to, you know, PDF creations for like flyers or media kits or presentation creations. A lot of, you know, VAs I know love Canva because you can make all sorts of fun things on Canva. And then, yeah, podcast hosts want you to edit their podcasts and make
Oh,
graphics
wow.
for those, or, you know, videos and all that kind of stuff. So there's a big, broad list of tasks that VAs can do these days for sure.
Well, and that's interesting too. So you had mentioned how you were looking into this and a lot of people were calling themselves a VA. So you're obviously teaching, I'm assuming, you know, your methods and methodologies that have worked for you. So how do you like, because I assume some of these people that are out there just doing a VA kind of just jumped in it and this may not be a really good role for them, but they're just looking for a quick entrepreneurial journey to go on and thinking that this is it, right? So how do you teach the people that are enrolled in your courses to be a very, you know, that good virtual assistant that can really, you know, benefit another person's company when somebody like us is hiring you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest part of it that makes all the difference in the world, and this is what I teach in my course, is like the client experience. So when you're scheduling a call with a potential client or you are pitching yourself as a virtual assistant to someone, like that needs to be a seamless process where it looks like you know what you're doing, because hopefully you do know what you're doing. But I think a lot of the people that struggle with like getting clients and finding clients are the ones that don't have that seamless process set up where what does it look like when someone inquires about your services, and then what does it look like when you hop on a call with them. And you should be sending out a calendar link, you should send out, you know, a Zoom link, you should send out a questionnaire, and all of these different things that I've noticed virtual assistants don't either know that they need to do or they're not sure how to go about doing it. But there is a lot of people that know how to handle email inboxes or know how to create graphics on Canva or can, you know, schedule social media posts. But the way you're gonna get hired is by providing that client experience right off the bat where someone's like, okay, I trust you with my business, because that's what they're doing. They're essentially now gonna, you know, trust you with potentially login information to their email or to their social media accounts. So there's a lot of, you know, trust that goes into that. And so I teach a lot, especially in the first couple weeks of the course, is like, what does that client experience look like and how you should present yourself as a VA, because that's what's going to get you clients. So
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's a huge trust thing. I mean, if we are giving you, you know, access to our email boxes, I mean, that's a lifeline there, you know, to anybody's business. And, you know, if we allow you to respond or whatever that you're doing in there, that is a huge thing. So when you were starting your business too, you had mentioned you were just connecting with people in Facebook groups or posts or things like that and doing your methods on how to build that relationship in order to potentially get them as a client.
Yeah. I mean, Facebook groups are a great place to start. You know, there's a lot of like women entrepreneurial groups. There's other like, you know, moms helping other moms, because maybe your business, you know, is an online Etsy shop that's growing and you need someone to help you either answer messages or handle like the social media or the blog side of that Etsy shop. You know, there's a lot of different things there. And so Facebook groups are a great place to start. Obviously, you know, telling people that you're doing it. There's local businesses that might need it because, you know, real estate agents are actually a big market, which is so funny, but they want like flyers made up for their home showings and stuff. So, or even just like scheduling those showings or scheduling people into their calendar and stuff. So there's, real estate's like random, but that's a big market for VAs because they don't want to hire a full-time employee, but they want help with like 5-10 hours a week, you know? But the cool thing with being a VA is you don't need a lot of clients. Like that's something that I try to encourage people that are like trying to get into the industry. They're like, it's so hard to find clients, but it's like at the end of the day, I have 5 and I am completely booked out. I'm not taking on any more clients. And, you know, with those 5 clients, I'm hitting all the hours I need to be hitting and the projects that I want. And so you don't need a lot. You just need like a few people that really trust you and that, you know, need help with their business. So obviously it takes time to grow a business, just like anything. But as a VA, like you can within a few months. One of the girls in my course right now, she had 2 client calls this morning that are signing her on, you know, and she's not even done with the boot camp yet. So she was like, how do I go about like sending them this and that, you know, and there's just, that's like what I'm there to help you with. But yeah, it's like the need is out there and I think it's super exciting because it's definitely growing as an industry. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it is cool because like you said, if, you know, a business just needs you for, you know, 10 hours a week and whatnot, if you can get 5 of those clients, so the fact that you're able to keep busy with 5 clients, because I would assume maybe you started with the 1, but once you build that relationship, then they kind of keep you on because they don't want to keep retraining somebody either or building that trust with somebody else. So if you're like kind of, I would assume multitasked, you might have a couple of projects with them to continually, or just, you know, be that consistent admin to them on for their needs.
Well, and as their business grows, your you know, task list for them grows and then your income grows with it. So of course, and like you said, they don't want to be hiring a bunch of different people doing a bunch of different little things. They'd rather have one person that can do a few things for them. So yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, even my graphic designer who's redoing my website right now, she's looking for a VA to help her with some, you know, extra tasks because she's getting too busy to do like some simple things. And so she was like, who do you have in mind for me? And so I like sent her off to someone else, you know, so it's cool. It's like you have your market of people and you get to know other women that are like really good at this. I say women, I mean, obviously men can do it too, but I just know women.
Right. Your circle's women, your tribe.
Yeah, totally. But it's awesome.
So did you think when you started this journey that this was the journey that you really wanted to go on? Or was it, obviously you kind of must have had an entrepreneurial spirit somewhere in there. And, you know, then you found this and you're just like, oh, wow, this is really my passion. Like, I really want to help people versus it just being like, oh, it's going to get me through into something else. So how did you know that it really was like that spark when you got there to like, this is where I want to stay. This is my spot. I found my spot.
Yeah. I think it's like the fact that even just talking to you about it, I'm like, you know, giddy with the fact that I love what I do. And it's like so funny because it's like, I log into people's emails and I answer emails. But I think what's cool about it is that those businesses, they have customers or clients that are receiving a service or a product in return. You know, like one of my clients is a skincare company that does like anti-acne products and they're all natural. And to see people coming in with like testimonials about how their skin has cleared up and that kind of stuff, like those types of things are super exciting for me to like be able to read and respond to. And then, you know, forward it off to the founders and be like, look what you guys did and stuff. And so it's just a cool, I think like, you know, what fires you up when you feel this way about it.
Right.
As far as the growth of it, it was funny because I asked my husband this in the car the other day. You know, as I'm growing this like boot camp and doing this course along with my clients and stuff now, I was like, did you even think like I would get this busy? Like this, I'm like kind of surprised. And he's like, I knew he would do it. I just didn't know it all happened this quickly, you know, because we've had to make some adjustments as far as like what our day-to-day routine looks like because of the fact that I've gotten busier than we expected me to get. And which is all so good and awesome. And he sees like how much I love what I'm doing. And he was just laughing because he's like, I knew you would do it. I just didn't know it'd be that fast. So yeah.
That's awesome. And just the fact too that now you saw how you can help so many other women create a
Mhm.
passion or a lifestyle that they want to lead and how to get there. So that's awesome that you're sharing the tools and resources for that too. And then also recommending clients that you can't take on. So I love
Yeah.
that you're supporting the fellow entrepreneur, even though they're in the same industry, they're the same type of person as you are, or in your
Yeah.
industry, you know, doing what you're doing. Yet you're like, here, take it. Like it's what we talk about in a lot of the videos. It's like help each other. Like we're going to get so
Mhm.
much further when you help each other. So I love
There is
seeing that.
more than enough to go around for
Yeah.
sure. You know, like there's not any of that like hoarding mentality of like, I need to keep all these clients to myself, because it's like there's way more than enough to go around. And it's really fun to be able to teach other people how to do it. And my course is actually very budget friendly. And the reason why I did that is because I'm wanting to help people that are either like stay-at-home moms that need an extra income, or
Yeah.
you know, people that are already struggling financially. I'm not trying to like grab like $1,000 out of your bank account. You know, my course is $250. It's like something that's manageable in order for you to learn all the tools that you need to start this, but you'll earn that back within weeks of starting, because of the fact that, you know, that's really only about 10 hours of work that you need to get to earn that back. But I
Wow.
think there's a lot of courses out there that are really pricey, and I've
Yeah.
taken them, so I know.
Yeah.
And I'm taking everything I've learned from like the high end, you know, pricey courses. Like I won't throw names out there,
Yeah.
but I've taken them. And I've learned a lot, and it's great, but it's really expensive for people that might not be able to afford it, you know. And it's so that's why part of my goal is to put it out there as a budget friendly option.
That's awesome. I can also see you like working with some of the younger girls, like not knowing where they want to go yet, but know that they want to do something else. Or, you know, we're stuck in these admin assistant types positions and, you know, they're
Hmm.
not as fun because you're doing the same thing every day. But,
Yeah.
you know, being able to go into a virtual assistant realm and to have multiple clients, like you said, you're in multiple industries. So it's not as mundane, I would think, as versus just
Hmm.
being an admin assistant at some corporate or regular, you know, I'm gonna call it a regular job that
Yeah.
we might have in the world today. So
Well,
yeah.
yeah. And what's awesome is like when in the summer, I lay out in my bikini on our back patio on my laptop and work, you know, and get a tan. It's like it's cool. It's like you're not stuck in an office setting. Like you can work
Yeah.
outside. I love going to local coffee shops. I'll sometimes, like, if it's a busy week and I have some tasks to do in the evenings, I'll head out down the street. There's like a really cute, like a cafe slash, you know, bistro that has wine, and I'll sit with a glass of wine and do some work.
Nice.
Like it's awesome. So
I love it.
it is like more of that flexible lifestyle, and it's fun, and you're helping other people while you're doing it and getting paid. You know, there's obviously the flip side of it where you really have to make sure that you're setting aside like the correct amount of money for taxes, and
Yeah.
you're taking care of your business in, like, you know, you're in a professional setting and stuff, and you need contracts, and you
Yes.
know, making sure that you have an accountant or someone you trust that like will tell you how much you need to set aside. Because the last thing you want to do is like make money, spend it, and then a year from now be like, I owe this amount of money in taxes, you know?
Right.
So I do teach all of that in my course, and I guide you towards like that kind of stuff. But there is a reality to it. I love talking about it as like a very, you know, fun job, but sometimes you land clients that you end up not liking, and you have to like break that relationship, and that can get tricky and hard. But it's all, you know, part of any type of business. Nothing's going to be completely happy-go-lucky all the time. But I think it's one of the best options out there for anyone that wants to, like, you know, work from home and do more of that administrative content creation type of stuff. So
Yeah, that's wonderful. So you bring up a very good point about how not everybody is your client, right? Or should be
mhm.
your client. So do you, since you've been in the business and been doing it for a while, do you now kind of have a questionnaire to see if personalities mesh before you take them on as a client?
Yes, yeah. So I have a pre-call questionnaire that I send out to everyone that books a call with me, and I ask questions about their business, what, you know, they need assistance with, if they've hired someone in the past, and then I also, to work with me, there's like a monthly minimum fee that
Okay.
I require for you to pay up front at the beginning of the month. That like kind of holds your amount of hours for the month,
Okay.
and so I always have a little box, you know, at the bottom there that like check this to understand that that's what it is, because you never want to book a call with someone that's just going to be a waste of time in the sense that they're not willing to pay your fees and all that kind of stuff. And so that questionnaire is something that it took a few, times, a few different calls to figure out exactly what questions to be asking.
Sure.
But that does help weed out a lot of, people that you might not want to work with, or that might not be willing to pay what your worth is. I think that's the big thing to always keep in mind, is not only are you helping them with their business and are they paying you, but you're also taking tasks off of their plate, and you're, creating content for them and stuff that you deserve to be paid appropriately for. So those are all the different like tips and tricks that I've had to go through and fail through a couple times before.
Because like we always say, we just want people like, oh yeah, we're gonna hire me. They're gonna hire me right now. So you want to take it because you get excited, and then it's a job, but then you learn, you're like, ooh, that might not have been a good job. Sorry, my Alexa just went off. Alexa, stop. Hold on.
She's like, are you talking to me? That's funny.
Sorry, I'm trying to undo it. Oh my God, it just went off for no reason whatsoever.
Dance party.
Oh my God, I have one in the other room. I don't know if they set it off, but okay, that was odd. Excuse everybody for me like button my for me turn off my Alexa. She went a little crazy just now, but yeah. So like I said, you don't want those clients, and then you're like, oh my God, because to get them away from you or to get out of that is probably even harder than taking them on.
Yeah, well, and that's why contracts are really important. I have like a section of my contract that talks about if either party doesn't see it like as a fit relationship, you have, this timeline to cancel like the partnership or whatever. It's obviously put in like legal lawyer terms, but it's important to have contracts. Some people are like, oh, someone's interested in hiring me. Like, can I just, say yes and get going? And it's like, did they sign a contract? Because if you don't have a signed contract, no, do not work for anyone unless it is like your dad or your sister that you trust, like never work for someone without a contract.
Yeah. Well, so. I honestly, they even say when you're working with your family, that's like almost the most time you should be having a contract, right?
That's true. It depends on your family, but yeah, for sure.
you want to say that his family is not, but you bring up some very good points. I mean, I did some conversations with a small business attorney, and just the things that we were going over, you got to protect yourself, and you really have to think of number one first, and that's okay. Like, you got to protect yourself, and then you're protecting the client too. So you're protecting each side of the coin, and you really do need to get into that. If it's just even a little sign thing that you agree to these, whatever you just read above, as simple as that, but you need something. And you should reach out to a small business attorney too, just to get those forms and those contracts that make sense for you.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, I always preface everything with, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a lawyer, but here's some guidelines. And yeah, I mean, the other thing too is business insurance. It's like you can get, small business insurance for coverage for emergency things. Because if you are set up as a sole proprietor, which most VAs start off as, if you get sued, like people can go after your assets, and so that's like a little scary for sure. And so having the contracts in place and like insurance in place protects you, almost 100% in that sense. Obviously, having like an established LLC down the line is like a really good idea, but that's all, stuff you can discuss with like your accountant to see at what point you should do that. But I think contracts and insurance is important for sure.
Yeah, definitely check with a small business attorney on which entity to go for. I went straight for the LLC. yeah, which I think is it's smart, definitely smart. Yeah, it protects your assets, like you said, if at all anything. If at all, because then you're a separate entity. But yeah, definitely talk to a small business attorney. Most of them are willing to speak with you, even as a freebie for 30 minutes or whatnot, to get a lot of your questions answered and to do things like that. Oh my God. All right. So this is where I throw out a fun question, since my my Alexa decided to go crazy. But anyway, okay. So if you were dropped or transported into a mad scientist's laboratory, what do you see?
What do I see?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it like Frankenstein kind of situation. I don't know, just a bunch of like test tubes and like torture devices. I don't know. Torture? That's a hard question. Mad scientists, they can't be a good person, right? So they're
That's true.
probably trying to get something out of you. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what I see.
Oh yeah, I love asking this question to people because it's so very different. I've had like kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome. All right, so we're going mad scientist, Frankenstein's coming back to life, and lots of crazy test tubes. We're going there.
That is what I'm seeing.
Do you
Yeah.
picture like black and white, like a black and white scene too, like everything's gray and black and white?
Yeah. Is that
Yeah,
weird?
yeah.
Totally.
That's the way I envisioned it though too. So yeah, I was wondering if everyone's mind goes to the same way. I think old Frankenstein movies.
Yes. Totally. That's exactly what I'm going toward.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so much fun. So you are able to put me on the hot seat now too, if you like, and ask me a question.
Okay. What is your, if you could be transported to anywhere that was your like ideal situation of a vacation, what would it be?
Oh, a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, I always want to either go to Australia or New Zealand or both.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my destination. And it would honestly just like to have my own private house there with like just wide open space to just enjoy, sit and relax
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, have a cup of chai tea on, you know, a deck and look at the sky, just hang out with a book and just kind of do my own thing.
Yeah.
Don't have, it's quiet wherever I'm at too. It's very quiet.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, and
Sunny.
that's funny too. That probably is a tell of what your daily life is like and what you want to get away from
Get away
for a
from.
little bit.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. Yeah. Calm is, yeah. Not that it's crazy, but it's constant. My life is definitely
Mm-hmm.
constant
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
Love it.
I love it. So thank you for joining us. Where can everybody find you?
Yeah, so I hang out on Instagram quite a bit. I love my Instagram stories. And my virtual assistant account is Peterson Virtual Assistant. And then I also have a personal account where I post more like healthy living and stuff, you know, with my dog. We have 3 dogs that
me too.
oh yeah? What kind of dogs?
Pitty Rat mix, Staffordshire American Bulldog mix, and a Chihuahua hot dog mix, so a Chiweenie.
Oh my gosh. So it's like 2 big dogs and a little dog.
Yeah, the little one's the meanest. Yeah, you got to look out for the little one, not the big one. How about you?
I know. We have a husky wolf mix and a black lab.
Oh, so, okay. The wolf mix. Wow, you got to one of those hybrids.
Yeah, she's like awesome though. I mean, we have like the best adventures out here with, you know, the snow and hiking trails and just like the river and all that fun stuff. So our dogs love it for sure. But yeah, so anyways, if you want to see pictures of dogs and my 1-year-old and lifestyle type of stuff, we're remodeling our bathroom coming up. So that'll be on stories, all that kind of fun stuff. It's Helen B. Peterson on Instagram. And then I actually also have a podcast with my co-host, and that's called Balancing Your Hustle. And we just talk about life, you know, as business owners. And then also we have other guests on that are like business owners or just people doing really awesome stuff in the world. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, I look forward to continuing following you and watching your journey and just seeing where it all goes. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. I really had a lot of fun and appreciate you having me on.
Oh, absolutely. I love talking with fabulous women like you, and they're just changing the world for so many other women too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.